What is going on, guys? Bruin Steel here, and welcome back to another WWE broadcast. I'm your host, Bruin Steel, and today we are recapping the Monday Night Raw that took place May 6, 2024, which took place in Connecticut, and it is the Raw right after France Backlash, which was an awesome pay-per-view. If you guys haven't checked out my recap video, I did it, so be sure to check that out. And it is the road to the next pay-per-view, which is going to be May 25th, which is a Saturday. It is King and the Queen. It's a King and Queen in the Ring tournament pay-per-view. So we're excited for that, and I am once joined by Canadian Yorker. How's it going tonight?
Doing great tonight. How about yourself?
Awesome. It's going to be an awesome road to the next pay-per-view, and I can tell you again that French crowd at France Backlash was awesome. Basically, we start off the show with the Judgment Day, and obviously we saw a little bit of a disagreement with the Judgment Day after Damian Priest retained the title against Jey Uso. He talked about Jey Uso and how he, is still the World Heavyweight Championship. So apparently he made amends with Finn Balor and with the Judgment Day after shoving them after the match at France and Backlash. So you never know how long that's going to last until they betray him. And basically Finn Balor said that he's going to be in the King of the Ring tournament, which a lot of matches actually took place in this Monday Night Raw. And basically it was announced that Drew McIntyre was supposed to be Finn Balor's opponent, but Drew McIntyre was not medically cleared to compete, so he was replaced by a main event Jey Uso versus Finn Balor in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament. So that sets up Adam Pearce. Finn Balor said that he gets a first round bye, but Adam Pearce corrected him, saying that he doesn't get a bye. He said that main event Jey Uso will be his opponent. And so that leads up to the first match. Any thoughts about, I know that you missed the recap that I did of France Backlash, Canadian Yorker. Any thoughts about this segment, and what are your thoughts about Damian Priest retaining his World Heavyweight Championship against Jey Uso?
So I just want to be clear that I still have yet to finish watching Backlash, but I will say that when I first watched the opening segment of Backlash, I was blown away by the loudness, the excitement, all that energy that all the fans had. It was really amazing to see that, and everybody was really into it. It was an amazing experience. Damian Priest and Jey Uso's match was a pretty good match. Once again, sadly, Jey Uso lost another title opportunity to win the championship thanks to interference. Again, it seems like this is a recurring pattern that happens with Jey Uso. Every time he's about to win, something happens, something interferes and gets in his way. This is what happened again. Before it was his brother, now it's the Judgment Day getting in his way. But he is going to get a championship in the future. We're definitely going to see that happen. As for the Judgment Day, and I believe that the Judgment Day is falling apart. Yes, either it's going to go one of two ways. One, the Judgment Day will turn on Damian Priest, or two, Damian Priest will do the turning on the Judgment Day, and that's probably that's my point of view. I'm going to see how one of these two things is going to happen. And as for Monday Night Raw, Jay, it's good that Finn Balor faced off against Jey Uso, because we need this rematch, and it just keeps the storyline going. So that's a good thing.
Alright, so moving on to the first match of Monday Night Raw, we got, once again I said, the King of the Ring first round match. So it's really serious of the King of the Ring first round match. We got Finn Balor versus main event Jey Uso, and you kind of figured that Judgment Day was going to get involved in this match, but no, sir. Adam Pearce said that no one's going to get involved, so it was a perfect one-on-one match. But in this match, it was actually a great match. Obviously history between Jey Uso and Finn Balor. In general, there's history between Jey Uso and the Judgment Day. But it was a great match. Jey Uso was able to hit a spear on Finn Balor, but then Drew McIntyre comes through the crowd. Obviously, Drew McIntyre is not finished with Jey Uso, so I'm guessing Drew McIntyre's tried to, distract Jey Uso. He's pissed off, obviously. But apparently Drew McIntyre doesn't get involved in the match. He tries to maybe he does distract Jey Uso, but Finn Balor only got the 2 count. But then Jey Uso was able to hit a spear. That's it. All it took was a spear, a second spear. Jey Uso was able to hit a second spear on Finn Balor to get the win. Jey Uso is moving on in the King of the Ring tournament, and that kind of pissed off Drew McIntyre because he didn't expect that. So as soon as Jey Uso was celebrating, Drew McIntyre slowly slipped into the ring while Jey Uso started to fall back with the angry Drew McIntyre. So I feel for Drew McIntyre. What are your thoughts on Jey Uso moving on in this King of the Ring tournament over Finn Balor?
It's great to see Jey Uso get that revenge against Finn Balor because of what Finn Balor literally cost him the opportunity to get the WWE the World Heavyweight Championship. And it's great to see him get that win and actually overcome those little obstacles that are in his way that Finn Balor tried to get him to do, to trip up and to make mistakes so Finn Balor could capitalize on it. And it's great to see that there. So I'm really happy that Jey Uso is moving on to the next round of the King of the Ring tournament. So.
Alright, so moving on. Obviously, Drew McIntyre is shown backstage after the segment with Adam Pearce, and he said that he's pissed off about Jey Uso, out of all people, gets the replacement and stuff like that. And then it's funny because the camera was in because he was complaining about CM Punk, and then he said it was bullshit. And then it's funny because Drew McIntyre was looking for CM Punk, but as soon as Drew McIntyre drove off, CM Punk just came up out of nowhere, and he was looking for Drew McIntyre, and Adam Pearce was like, "Are you kidding me? You just missed him. He just left." So it's funny, and then that led us to a CM Punk segment, which CM Punk was basically had a small segment saying that Drew ruined his WrestleMania dreams. He basically said that he's no one's afraid of him. He just basically trash talked Drew McIntyre and said that he has some horrible plans for Drew McIntyre. So this feud between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre is gonna hit hard. Like, the question is it just gonna be like a regular one feud like Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes did without any title involved? Or is Drew McIntyre going to win the World Heavyweight Championship? They're going to have the World Heavyweight Championship with that feud in these two. I would like to see a title. I would like to see a title in this like feud picture, because if you guys don't know, CM Punk was the one that cost Drew McIntyre the title. So once Drew wins it again, CM Punk is going to look for revenge again. Why not have the World Heavyweight title in this feud? But who knows? They might even just have it in a one-on-one with no title feud. So they might just have this Drew McIntyre and CM Punk feud without any titles. What are your thoughts?
I can see it being a title too. However, I can see it instead of it being a title thing, I can see more of it being a street fight thing between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, because they hate each other. And but if it's a title, make it a 3-way title match with Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, and CM Punk. Let that happen.
But the only issue with that is like Damian Priest and CM Punk hasn't really had any segments together, so I don't think they're gonna do it. Damian Priest and CM Punk, they haven't had any promos at all, so
yeah, they haven't had any promos. That's true. However, indirectly, CM Punk did help Damian Priest out in a way, So he did help Damian Priest, even though you might not see that happen. It probably could happen, but I can see Drew McIntyre beating Damian Priest and winning the title back, and then we could have that title in the title picture right there. So it can go either way.
Alright, so moving on to the second match of Monday Night Raw. Like I said, it's just been non-stop King of the Queen of the Ring tournament matches. We got our first women's Queen of the Ring first round match between Iyo Sky and Natalya. So this was a okay of a match, but Natalya, man, look, I like Natalya and all, but she needs to retire. I think she's out of her prime. I think she's smoking hot, but I mean, she's out of her prime. But she can't win matches. But this was a great match, honestly. But the numbers were stacked against Natalya. Obviously, with Dakota Kai and the huge news was Asuka was hurt, so Asuka is out with injury, just injuries, man. So it was Iyo Sky, Dakota Kai, and Carly Sane out there with Iyo Sky supporting her. Natalya did put up a fight, but at the end, Iyo Sky was able to hit her deadly moonsault on Natalya to get the win. So there you have it. Iyo Sky moves on in this Queen of the Ring tournament. So what by pitfall? So what are your thoughts on this match?
I agree. It may be time for Natalya to retire. I have been pushing for Natalya to get some relevance. She probably still has one more good championship run in her left before she retires. It, because she is the person that carries the Hart Dynasty, and who will be the next person that will do that? We haven't really seen much of the Hart Dynasty since Natalya is there for the women's division. She definitely needs something to keep her to at least solidify her case. To win the women's championship. It would be wonderful to see that. I'd like to see that one more time. Iyo Sky, she's still that deadly dangerous vixen that she is. She's dangerous when she jumps. She is a former women's championship champion. So, of course, her winning against Natalya is Natalya did put up a fight, but Iyo Sky definitely used her agility and her jumping skills against her. So you can't count her out. She is a fighting former champion. So we'll have to see how far Damage Control will go. They might go all the way and win Queen of the Ring. If they do, that would be a mark. That would be something that they're adding to the resume. So it would be interesting to see what happens with Damage Control now on Raw, because now Damage Control can do anything. I think probably we'll have to talk. We'll be talking about it later, but that's something I'm going to talk with you later about. But we'll see what happens. So.
All right. Plus, post-match, Dakota Kai, Carly Sane, and Iyo Sky get on the mic. They had a little tiny quick segment saying that because Asuka's injured, she was supposed to be in the Queen in the Ring tournament. But Dakota Kai said she's replacing Asuka to face the newest member of Raw, Lyra Valkyria, in the first round later on. So the next match, we got another King of the Ring first round between the newest member of Raw, Dragunov, versus Ricochet. So this was an unbelievable match. It went back and forth. This was probably the best men's first round match. If I would say, and also the main event, which we'll talk about later. But Dragunov is a strong guy. Ricochet's athleticism. At some point, I thought Ricochet was gonna end up winning, but it went back and forth. It was crazy. But at the end, Dragunov, he had so many opportunities to win, and somehow Ricochet kicked out. Ricochet is just an unbelievable athlete. But at the end, he got the job done with a H-bomb. Dragunov, what a win on his Raw debut with a win in this tournament over Ricochet by Pitfall. What are your thoughts on this match and how you're feeling about Dragunov's debut?
I haven't seen much of Dragunov, but I do know that Dragunov was a former NXT champion and he knows how to get the job done. For him to win on Raw, especially against one of the best high flyers in this time that we live in of WWE, this athletic guy Ricochet. I mean, that is an impressive win, and Ricochet is a very impressive wrestler. As far as you go as an athlete, he's really impressive, and for him to win against him was really something. So, if he gets going in the King of the Ring, man, he'll be a challenge. He'll be a threat. So,
All right. Plus, we saw Dragunov and Ricochet giving each other the respect. Obviously, it was a great match, like I said. But moving on to the next match, we got another Queen of the Ring first round match between Ivy Nile and Zoey Stark. So, two buff girls going at it. It went back and forth, but poor Ivy Nile had no chance. Zoey Stark with the Z360, her finisher, which is deadly. Zoey Stark defeats Ivy Nile by pinfall. Honestly, we haven't really seen a lot of Zoey Stark lately. I don't really think she's been getting a lot of push lately. Obviously, she's tagging with Shayna Baszler still, who's also going to be in the Queen of the Ring. It's weird because two of the King of the Queen matches will not be on a Raw or SmackDown. They're doing two of the matches on a WWE premium event, so it's like a non-televised event. So they're having two of the matches on there. But Zoey Stark defeats Ivy Nile by Z60, and Zoey Stark is moving on in this Queen of the Ring tournament. So what are your thoughts on Zoey Stark's win?
what about Ivy Nile? I haven't really seen much of Ivy Nile winning either.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a build-up. Like I said, I didn't see Ivy Nile turning heel when I mentioned that the Creed brothers might start an alliance with Chad Gable. But I'm like, if that happens, where does that leave Ivy Nile? Because so far I haven't seen any indications that Ivy Nile might join the new group as a heel. But there's rumor this could be like a start of it, like as the build-up. Ivy Nile's losing matches, and then she gets frustrated and then turns heel. Maybe turns on Maxine. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you can definitely see that happening. There's a lot that can be said there. It's a good pickup win for Zoey Stark. We haven't seen much of her either, but hopefully we'll see how far she goes in the Queen of the Ring, and just continue moving forward. So.
All right, so moving on. Just want to talk about R-Truth because he's hilarious. He starts chatting with Adam Pearce, and then he brings out the coach for the NCAA Huskies, Dan Hurley, and basically R-Truth said that he wants to set up a tag team match against the NCAA basketball team, and it was just like back and forth. So it was hilarious. The interesting thing I want to talk about is we saw Dominic Mysterio bring in Carlito. So we saw Dominic Mysterio as well as Carlito. Carlito was right next to him, and then he introduced Carlito to the Judgment Day. So that's crazy to see, but Damon Priest that quick wasn't impressed with Carlito, so he said, get this guy out of here. So it's interesting to see, like now that, like I said, LWO is on Raw, Dominic is still on Raw, Carlito's on Raw. Carlito might actually team up with Judgment Day. That's the only suggestion. That's like the feud that could happen. I mean, obviously, Carlito and Dom are on the same page. They obviously said that I need help with my deafbeat dad. Obviously, they both have issues with Ray. Maybe I thought Carlito's issue was Dragon Lee, but we have to see what happens there. But before we go into the next match, any thoughts about the Carlito and the Judgment Day having a segment?
Yeah, I believe Carlito is better as a heel, and Carlito would definitely help Dominic Mysterio develop more as a heel. He's definitely going to help the Judgment Day become more of a heel than they actually already are. Because Carlito is always better as a heel than he is as a face guy. So, now that he has some issue against Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is going to be the guy that's helping Dragon Lee out and helping Andrade out, and mentoring the LWO. So this now things are getting interesting with the LWO and Dragon Lee. The LWO and the Judgment Day. We're definitely going to see these two these two factions clash again in the future, and it's going to be a banger. So,
all right.
I would also like to see the two guys that are also part of the OWO to get more character development, because we haven't really seen much of them, but I want to see more of that, more than Dragon Lee and Andrade, but the other two guys, you know who I'm talking about. Those guys need some character development.
Alright, so moving on to the next match. We got Big Bronson Reed versus Chad Gable. They set up this one-on-one match, but it was pretty short. Well, it lasted until Sami Zayn wants his revenge on Chad Gable. So it would end up in a disqualification and chaos. Sami Zayn tried to attack Chad Gable, then Chad Gable retaliated, attacked him, and then Bronson Reed got in the mix, and so it went ham. So Chad Gable presumably won by disqualification because of the Sami Zayn attack. So chaos. And it was announced by Sami Zayn that he wants both men in a triple threat match at the Man and the Queen pay-per-view. So at the King and Queen pay-per-view tournament, it's going to be Bronson Reed versus Chad Gable versus Sami Zayn in a triple threat match for the Intercontinental title. About time they actually booked that match. What are your thoughts?
It's about time. It's about time we had these three guys going at each other that just don't like each other. I mean, Chad Gable has a reason not to like Sami Zayn. Bronson Reed doesn't like Sami Zayn. Chad Gable doesn't like Bronson Reed. So have them go at each other. We're going to have to see this banger of the match. I'm loving it. I want to see Chad Gable win this championship. I want to see it. I'm still pulling for this guy. I'm pulling for it to happen. I got to see this happen. It's got to happen.
Alright, so moving on, we got a Becky Lynch segment interview with Michael Cole. Basically, they just talked about her outfit at the Kentucky Derby. That's when it was announced that next year's WrestleMania is going to be at Las Vegas. And basically, Michael Cole talks about Becky Lynch's future opponent. She talks about Isla Dawn, Kiana James, Lyra Valkyria, and Selena Vega. And then she gets interrupted by Liv Morgan, saying that she doesn't have any respect. Becky Lynch said that she was going to finish until Liv Morgan got interrupted. Becky Lynch saying that you would have your title match in 3 weeks at the Queen and King of the Ring pay-per-view. So it's official. It's going to be Becky Lynch defending the Women's World Champion against Liv Morgan in a one-on-one match. Hell yeah, Becky Lynch better fucking win. Hopefully she doesn't drop the title quick, because I just made this shirt right here. That would be a shame if she drops the title. This is going to be just a waste. At least have a good, title reign so I can keep the shirt. But that's going to be crazy. I mean, but I got to say though, it has to be, the best option obviously is to give the title to Liv Morgan, so that storyline with her revenge story with Rhea Ripley. So it's gonna be a waste of a shirt, but who knows? You never know. They might even just give Liv Morgan the bleh, and then just have Becky have the longest reigning title reign, which I hope happens. But it's probably not gonna happen. But moving on, they get entered by Damage Control. But then Liv Morgan, the sneaky girl she is, pretends that she's teaming up with Becky, but then just leaves Becky all by herself to deal with Damage Control. A rivalry resumed between Becky Lynch and Damage Control. They're just gonna run that rivalry back again. So Becky Lynch does get attacked in a 3-on-1 situation, but Lyra Valkyria, who Becky Lynch has a lot of history with. They're both Irish, they're both from Ireland. Plus, they had fought over the NXT Women's title back in NXT, where Becky Lynch has dropped the title before just completely dissing NXT. So they're great friends, and I wouldn't be surprised if Lyra Valkyria starts a feud with Damage Control. I could see that. That'd be crazy. People were talking about a potential team or faction between Irish girls of Lyra and Valkyria. That would be a deadly faction if Becky and Lyra become like a tag team. But I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon, because Obviously, Becky Lynch holds the title, and she's a singles competitor right now, holding the title. But who knows? They might even have her win it. We might see her win the tag team titles moving forward in the future. Obviously, it's not going to happen because the tag titles are on SmackDown. So, what are your thoughts on this segment?
I say let Becky Lynch lose her championship to Liv Morgan. So Liv Morgan can get that revenge that she wants against Rhea Ripley. That needs to happen. The second thing is Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch definitely have to team up because this is Becky Lynch being attacked by the Judgment Day again. We have seen this story before. Becky Lynch has been attacked by the Judgment Day. I'm sorry, the Damage Control. Becky Lynch has been attacked by Damage Control before in the past, and we need. There has not been an Irish faction of ladies. So seeing this Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch team up against Damage Control would be an interesting spin. Because they need the Damage Control really doesn't have a rival right now. They're looking to get. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Iyo Sky has her eye on the title, the women's title right now. She has her eye on that title. She wants that title because she was a champion before. So she wants to get that championship back. So basically, I'd say let her lose. Let Becky Lynch lose. Let Liv Morgan get that title. Let there be a championship, that feud between Damage Control and Becky Lynch. That needs to happen. We haven't seen much of that in ever since with Bianca and Charlotte. They fought against them, so that needs to be developed more.
Alright, so moving on to the next match, we got another Queen of the Ring first round match. We got Dakota Kai versus Lyra Valkyria. So obviously Asuka was supposed to be facing Lyra, but Dakota Kai took her place. Dakota Kai actually put up a fight in this match. Obviously, she wants redemption. Dakota Kai wants redemption. She wants to be Queen of the Ring. But Lyra Valkyria, she's a great competitor. Obviously seen her when she was feuding with Becky. Dakota Kai hit a huge springboard stomp. It only covered for 2. But then Lyra Valkyria was able to hit a nice a finisher that looked pretty. Honestly, it looked weak, but it did damage. Lyra Valkyria hits the Nightwing finisher. It's kind of like a suplex or whatever it's called. I didn't really see it. It didn't look too much damage, so I was surprised. But Lyra Valkyria defeats Dakota Kai by pinfall. Lyra is moving on in this Queen of the Ring tournament. So, what are your thoughts on this match?
That's great. Let her lose. Let her lose. Let Dakota Kai lose. Because I can see Dakota Kai becoming somebody that can sabotage Lyra's matches now going forward. And Lyra has the opportunity to become Queen of the Ring. So, if Dakota Kai and Damage Control interfere, Becky Lynch is going to come back and get in the way of them. So she's not going to. So that's not going to be allowed to happen. So man, there's a lot of this. There's some new storyline forming right now. It's really cool. I'm excited to see it happen. Let's get it done.
Alright, so moving on to the main event, but before we start, I just want to mention that Kofi Kingston, a lot of injuries happening in this tournament. Xavier Woods, who won the King of the Ring last year, was supposed to repeat according to Kofi Kingston, but last week Gunther injured Xavier Woods' leg, so kind of hurt Xavier Woods. So apparently Xavier Woods is out of action. So Gunther injured Xavier Woods' foot. So Kofi Kingston will take his place, where he faced Rey Mysterio in the first round. So we're gonna get Kofi Kingston versus Rey Mysterio, but it's happening at that WWE Premium event that's not televised. So that's gonna be great. But now moving on to the main event, we got Gunther versus Sheamus in a huge rematch of a King of Ring first round match, and obviously the history between these two guys. WrestleMania, obviously They got so much history. Hard-hitting match. And I said to myself, if Sheamus wants redemption, this is time to get it, and you just get back. You just got back. But this was hard hitting. But obviously, Ludwig Kaiser got involved, and Sheamus obviously was hurting in this match. You can see the red scars on the slaps that Gunther gave him. And then after Ludwig Kaiser got involved, Sheamus hurt his leg, whatever, and then after that, Gunther was just targeting. Ludwig Kaiser did get ejected from the ringside, by the way. He got caught. And then Gunther's still standing. Obviously, Sheamus is dealing with that leg injury. It went back and forth. A couple times Sheamus was going to win this match with 2 knees, but it didn't work. But Gunther just kept giving Sheamus with the half crab submission hold. Once he hold the rope, second time it hurt, so it didn't really have a choice. So Sheamus ends up tapping out. Gunther in a physical battle once again gets the better of Sheamus. Gunther defeats Sheamus in the main event to move on in this King of the Ring. What are your thoughts?
It's tough seeing Sheamus lose twice in a row to Gunther. Gunther is such a dangerous opponent. We know what Gunther is capable of, and if it wasn't for Gunther's repeated jumping off the top ropes on Sami Zayn, and had he done just a simple submission or done his Boston Crab submission on Sami Zayn, then he would have won. He would have retained. He would still be the longest running Intercontinental champion ever in WWE history. He would still be the longest running. He had Sami Zayn right where he wanted him, but he lost, and that's it. But now he's doing the same thing that he always does. He dominates. So it's gonna be interesting seeing Gunther get that King of the Ring. He is the imposing, dangerous individual. He's still the same imposing, dangerous that can beat anybody at their game. He's not an easy opponent to beat, but he is beatable. But it is what it is. Man, I saw those marks that he ran. Those were some hard hits. He really left blood on him. Left bloody marks on him. It was crazy. So
yeah,
still crazy.
So yeah, that would do it for our broadcast. Thank you guys for watching. But in terms of grading, this was an unbelievable hard-hitting tournament so far of the first round. I give this show a plain A, just a regular A grading. What is your gradings?
I'm giving it an A also. A. It's great.
Alright, so that would do it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Broomstill. This is Canadian Yorker. If you haven't done so, like, subscribe, check out Canadian Yorker's YouTube channel. The link will be in the description, as well as me and Canadian Yorker's wrestling channel, which is WWE Wrestling Bros, which will also be found in the description of this video. But that would do it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. It was an awesome Monday Night Raw. So take it easy, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Any last second thoughts?
Nope, that's it.
All right.
Take care, guys.
All right. Enjoy yourself, guys. See you in the next one.